we have a bit of a tanking problem in Azeroth. In World of Warcraft in general, nobody wants to tank, or nobody is tanking. I've heard, I haven't played DPS in a couple months, but I've heard the dungeon queues have gotten quite bad. 30, 40, 50 minutes in some cases. I do remember once recently, I had queued with a friend of mine, so 2 DPS, and we were in the queue for, I think, over an hour before we finally got into a dungeon, which is crazy. And the problem is, as I said, there are no tanks. I don't know that there's a healer problem, but there's certainly a tank problem. And why? Why is this a problem? Why does this problem exist, I should say? I think partially because people are scared to do it. I think that's probably the biggest reason. I wonder also, is it lack of options? Is it that overworld content is too hard to do as a tank? Is it some combination? As far as options go, you know, DPS, you've got like, what, 40 different specs, 30 or 40 different specs to choose from, which can be a bit overwhelming. In that sense, it's actually a negative. With tank, there's 7 classes that can tank. That's it. So if you don't like any of those 7, you're kind of out of luck. But at the same time, you're not as overwhelmed with options. And they're pretty different in terms of like lore and aesthetics and whatnot, and gameplay for that matter. Okay, why else would people not want to do it? Because it's too hard to level as a tank, which this I don't think is true, actually. It's different. You don't kill things as quickly because you're not doing as much damage, obviously, but in a certain sense, I think it's actually more efficient to level as a tank because, for example, you have a quest that says kill 10 Fungarians in Herondar. Rather than having to do 10 separate battles, 10 separate fights, as the tank, you can just pull 10 ads, kill them all in one interaction, boom, the quest is done. So that's fine, that's easy. Maybe it would be nice if there was a way to spec your tank so that you could do more damage in overworld content, but I really don't think it's a big deal. I think the biggest problem, as I mentioned, is that people are scared to do it. Because of the pressure, because the spotlight's on you, because like when you queue into a dungeon with random people, you're the leader as the tank, and there's this expectation that you know where to go and you know all the mechanics, you know how many ads to pull, etc., even if you've never done the dungeon before. And furthermore, if you mess up and you die, it's likely that everyone else in the group is going to die, and they're going to blame you for it. At least that's the fear, but as with most things, we suffer more in our fears than we do in reality, because it's actually not that bad. Number one, you have a map. You can see where the bosses are. Look at the map and just go towards them. Number two, especially in a normal, it's really not even that hard to stay alive. Don't pull every single ad in the room. And then as far as boss fights, like, don't stand in their AoEs. And if they're like charging up an attack, dodge it. That's basically all you need to know. They don't do that much damage. All the tank, well, I can't speak for all the tank classes, but the ones I've played, which would be Protection Warrior, Paladin, and Brewmaster Monk, pretty easy to stay alive in normal dungeons. And like, if you're that self-conscious about it, you can just tell the group that this is your first time tanking it or whatever. But even I don't think that's necessary. I think most people won't really care. And they're not going to kick you out because they've just waited 40 to 50 minutes to get into this dungeon. It's not like you can just kick the tank and get another one immediately, so you kind of have leverage in that sense. But beyond that, beyond the negatives, what are the good reasons to tank? Why is it so fun, and why do I think it's the most fun role in the game to play? It's very main character energy, in the sense that you are the leader. You are leading this group of players, be it 4 other players or, 38 other players, or anywhere in between. You're leading the group. You're kind of calling the shots, even if you're not actually saying it. You're placing the boss, you're determining where to go, how many ads to pull, etc. Hopefully the DPS aren't pulling more, but that's a whole other conversation. And there's something very heroic feeling about like running into a boss fight, and in most cases, if things are going as they should, you're the first one, like you get the first hit on the boss. You're the vanguard. It feels very cool. And it's one of the most fun things about tanking. It's just that feeling, the rush of like being the first one to run in. And yeah, and beyond that, if you do have the fear of tanking that I think many people have, my advice would be just do it. Get out of your comfort zone. You know, we live in a world where people are just obsessed with comfort. How can we make life as easy as possible with the least amount of inconvenience and challenge? But you know what? It's good to get out of your comfort zone sometimes. So if you're scared to tank, but you want to tank, even better. You should definitely do it then. Make a tank. Start at a low level. The expectation's lower. The stakes are lower. The pressure's lower. You know, if you queue as a level 10 or level 20 tank, people aren't going to really expect you to know everything or be perfect. And that's great. That's the best place to learn. It's much harder if you're already level 90, you're already doing Mythic Plus, and you now want to switch from DPS to tank, and you have no idea how the tank spec works. You don't know how to generate threat, how to keep aggro on things, how to stay alive, etc. But if you do want to do it, if you have any desire to do it, I would say try it. Try it at a low level. Don't be afraid. It's easier than you think. People will follow you. You'll think there's more pressure on you than there is, but think about when you play DPS. Are you focused on what the tank's doing, or are you just focused on doing as much damage as possible? They're focusing on themselves. Unless, you know, you die and then they die, and then that's, you know, but that happens. It is what it is. It's, you know, it's normal. It's a random normal. You know, you can't expect to get the top tier players. If there's a tank shortage, the only way that we as players can fix it is to play tank ourselves. I'm not saying everyone needs to do it, obviously, and if you don't want to do it, then you shouldn't do it. But if you have any desire to do it, and you've been too afraid, I would say just try it. Pick the class that you think is the coolest, that looks the coolest, and just do it. I know it like varies, which tank class is the best, which is the most efficient, which is the easiest, but that like honestly changes on like a weekly basis right now. So I would say just pick the one you think is the coolest and just go with it, and you'll figure it out and it'll be fine. But yeah, we have to fix the tank problem because it's not going away, and it doesn't seem like there's any, I mean, like the new expansion just came out. They're not going to come out with a new tank class now. So we have to do it ourselves. We need more people to try it. We need more people to stop being afraid, get out of their comfort zones, and just do it. You know, do something that scares you. I think it's good. It's healthy. I try to do that every day in ways beyond video games. But yeah, that's all I have for today. If you are interested in tanking and you have any questions, or you want me to do any more tank specific videos or guides, leave a comment below. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.